Wasn't it earlier on? I think it's 58. So.
Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody. Photo sharing discussion number 58, I think. Yes, number 58. So, welcome everybody. We got Tim in the UK joining us. So, welcome Tim.
Yeah, good.
Tim the Insomniac staying up late for us here, so we appreciate that. I think Joe and maybe Pat are going to join in, but we got some images posted to the group here. I don't know, eight or nine. Joe's posted a few. I didn't post anything this week. I've got nothing this week. I haven't had any time to do anything other than work and more work. I got a little bit of time off today, and not going to do anything tomorrow. But I'm not going to be able to do photography. So no images this week, but hopefully I can get some posted up in the next week or two. Just haven't had much time to get out and photograph, and I know you haven't, Tim, either. You were saying you've been busy as well. So hopefully we can make time to get out there with the camera. You know, I've got I will later on in the summer, but I don't know what it's going to look like for the next few weeks or so. It's just really busy. But I think as we get into June and July, I finally scheduled some time off from work. So hopefully that will allow me to take the camera out and about a little bit and do some photography because I haven't done enough of it this year. I thought I would have more time to do photography this year, and work has sucked up all that available time. So I was heading into end of 2013, and I said, "Oh man, I'm going to have a little bit more time, maybe a couple more hours a week, or it's not going to be quite as busy." And then first of the year hit, work got crazy, and we still are. So ended up with even less time than I thought. But oh well, such is life. But I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share here, and we'll go into some of these images and see what we get. Let's see if I can get this. Hopefully we'll be able to see this, Tim. Here we are. And we'll start with the last image from last week, which was, I think, the only image I posted last week. This was at the Oakland Cemetery. I was there a couple weeks ago. Did a bit more black and white than color, but this was one of the color images that I liked, and I almost titled it "Where's Waldo," but I did Waldo's Garden. But it's just kind of neat. That's a neat place to shoot. We'll probably get back there in the fall. It's kind of hot here in the summer, but in the fall I think it'd be nice. There's a lot of old headstones and stuff. There's a lot of opportunity. I think more for black and white than color, but. I find graveyards are very interesting to photograph. There's a lot of, especially the older ones where you just got a lot of history and everything with it. So they're a fun place. Have you done much photography in graveyards or anything, Tim?
No, not yet. So I was waiting. I was going to leave that kind of thing for when I've got the film camera because, as you just said, I think it lives more for black and white. When it's shapes and you're working with shadows and stuff, that's a good opportunity for black and white film.
Yeah, I think I agree completely. I just for whatever because most of the stuff is rocks. It's real organic. And like you said, shapes and shadows, light and dark. It just goes really well with film. But yeah, you can get some good color shots. But I think graveyards are definitely for black and white. And black and white from film is always better than black and white from digital.
Yeah.
That's one of the rules of photography that they don't tell you about. Okay, well here's an image that is very good in color. This is one of this is one of Joe's. I think he did this shoot last weekend, and this is Adela, and she kind of looks a little bit like Danica Patrick. I don't know, the race car driver here in the States, but maybe it is. Maybe it's the evil twin of Danica. But very nice shot. Joe is doing a lot of boudoir, glamour photography, and he's starting to get some good results from that. We were talking a little bit last week. I don't know if you watched last week's show, Tim, on YouTube, but Joe has been kind of moving up. That we were talking about, like photography is kind of like baseball. You start off in the minor leagues and you work your way up. You get published in certain magazines, and then that moves you up to the next level. And the way he figures it, maybe he might be in like Double A, getting close to Triple A in the baseball world. So just he's moved up quite a bit, starting to get noticed by more. um, more magazines, more publishers. So, and he's doing a lot of shooting. He's just doing a lot. But this is very nice. She's a very pretty girl. The lighting is great. Joe does a great job with the lighting, and um, nice colors, contrast. He does so good with the eyes. That's one of the things I like about Joe's photography.
Mm.
Gets the eyes of any model is just very good, and she's very pretty. She is. You can tell she's fit, and he does a good job of showing that. So nice shot. That is no complaints about that. And this is Karen, I guess. Yeah, Karen. Karyn. I guess that's Karen. And when did he shoot this? I think this is one he did a little earlier. He doesn't say here. But another boudoir type of shot. Once again, very pretty. Nice shot of the eyes. Yeah, I don't know. It's very pretty. He gets the opportunity to photograph a lot of very pretty girls, beautiful women. That's not a bad job.
Yeah, I was just thinking he must hate his job.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. There's a little more. I don't know. You know, graveyards are fun to photograph too, right, Tim?
Yeah, these buildings don't move or talk back, you know.
That's right. Yeah, and that's really. I mean, that's really the any kind of people photography, portrait photography, that type of stuff. There's just that whole other component to it. It's not just finding something that you want to photograph, and you've got to work with the person. The model has got to be able to work with you. They've got to know what they're trying to achieve. You got to know what you're trying to achieve, and there's a lot of rapport that has to be built and everything. So it's and Joe's that kind of guy. He definitely loves people, and he does a great job of photographs. So not bad. All right, Shawshank sunset, I guess. Cameras still don't capture some really beautiful things properly. Yeah, I would agree. He says it's not really nearly as beautiful as the real thing.
Yeah, I just think actually he's done a good job, because normally you just blind the camera, don't you, trying to photograph the sun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've looked at this a couple of times, and I just noticed here the birds. Just now. I didn't notice that the first time I looked at it, but that is a nice. It gives a sense of scale to the whole thing.
Yeah.
With the three birds in there, so very nice shot. I'd be interested to see f/16 at a 250th, 50 millimeter, 100 ISO. So, and it's a fine pix. I guess that's a it's a point. That's a high-end point and shoot, I think, right? Yeah. And but yeah, that's great color. Nice texture in the clouds. There's just enough dust or clouds in the air that the sun is very bright, but doesn't totally overpower the rest of the scene. Nice oranges, yellows. The birds down here are a nice touch. Yeah, that's a nice, very nice shot. But he's right. There still doesn't. There's seeing it in person is still much more so than you can get with the camera. But
there's been so many times I've been trying to. You've seen like the sun's rays beaming through clouds, and I just cannot catch them. You know, the camera's the what I have not figured out to get the camera to actually take a photograph of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's tough.
Blow the clouds out, or you close the iris down a bit, like so faster shutter speeds, and then you just get really dark foreground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is tough, and it's just a matter of catching it just right. My wife, actually, we were out in Colorado a couple years ago. We were at the sand dunes. I think I published a photo that she took, but I was all focused. The sun was setting behind us. We were looking towards the east at the sand dunes that were all lit up from the color. She turned around, looked back out across the valley. The sun had just come in behind a cloud, and she, pushed the shutter button. When I got home and I looked at it, I was like, wow, it was perfect. You got the sun was there. You had the beams of light coming out from the cloud, and just and 2 or 3 seconds later it was gone. It was just a pure luck. She just happened to turn around. She got bored with what I was doing. I was fiddling around, adjusting my settings and all that stuff, and she just turned around and took the shot and got a much better image than I did. So it was great. But yeah, it is tough to capture that right balance of light and dark, and not blow out the sensor or have it too dark. So very good job. But he's right. It is not near as beautiful as in person. And I like this one because this is really the only spot of yellow in the whole image. There's a little bit back here, but it's just a real nice contrast. You got the red and the green, and then the yellow is just bang right there. And very nice. Focused right in on the, I guess that's a sunflower of some kind, probably sunflower or daisy. But 600th of a second, f1.8. So yeah, wide open, and
that's sharp then, isn't it? Because the Canon 1.8 is not that sharp. It's good, nice bokeh and stuff, but it's not as sharp as it is if you stop it down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite impressive. If that's that lens wide open, that's quite impressive sharpness on that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's the Nikon base 50mm, I would think. I don't know. I guess they have probably the same base 50mm lenses as Canon and Nikon, probably the same 1.8. And I got a really nice. I mean, it's super sharp right where it needs to be. Nice bokeh in the back. Color, the red, right, not right next to the flower, but just off to a little bit, kind of sets it off. Maybe a little more of a crop here. That would be the only thing I would. These little stalks or whatever, but very nice. Super, like you said, Tim, super sharp, and just a nice mix of color. Very nice. And here's another portrait of a portrait. Oldest way to make portraits to the latest. He is correct. Carving it in stone, that was about the first way to do it, and then he took a picture of it, photographed it. So very nice. And I love the composition on this. Very nice. Once again, nice and sharp.
I was just thinking, it's held that well, he's taking out 300mm.
Yeah. 500th of a second. So I got enough. Well, I was probably up on the building, I guess, probably to zoom in. And maybe it was even cropped a little bit beyond that, I would bet, because that is really nice, but very nice detail, and well composed or cropped or framed. Just coming up right there, I got the I don't know what the flower or the feather or whatever, in the background there. Very nice. Nice and lighter here, dark in the background, so just a nice contrast between foreground and background. Very well done. Not bad black and white out of a digital camera. That looked better on Ilford, though, I think. But very nice shot. Very nice. I like that. And that's one of those ones I think are much better in black and white than color.
Yeah.
Just the subject matter suits itself for black and white. Yeah, another sunset. Really beautiful. Just had to shoot it. Picture didn't do justice once again. Point and shoot. No polarizing filter. I can go back, prepare sometime. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Once again, he did get a little bit of the sun coming through.
Yeah, right, so over here. See on that one, obviously the light beams going straight through.
Yeah, that's very nice. Get that coming through there. The shadows in the foreground, once again, kind of give a little bit of scale and perspective to it, but they're not distracting. and just love it from dark to light, kind of going from bottom to top. The sun, which goes perfect, with the sun lighting up where it's going. Um, Lots of color, very nice. Once again, the fine picks. This is one of those ones that the best camera is the one you have with you.
Yeah.
Because maybe he was driving somewhere or doing something and he just saw it, pulled over, or got the camera out and took a shot. And the reality is, that's a good quality digital camera, very very good shot. And yes, you could have tweaked it like you said with doing a polarizer or a tripod or something like that. But if you didn't have a camera, if you would have waited for that, you would have missed the shot completely and had it
Yeah.
zero instead of maybe 95% of what he could have gotten in a perfect world. So that's definitely another advantage to having a camera with you as much as you can. So, because you never know. And very nice. Like it. I love sunsets. All right, here's Joe. This is blacklight. Very interesting. Lots of blacklight paint. Um, Joe said I think he had like 4 or 5, maybe more than that, 5 or 6 light stands with 2 or 3 blacklight bulbs in each one to get this, and then a lot of blacklight paint, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's got just a very exotic feel to it. What I love on this one is the detail in the paint on the eyes, around her eyes there and up there. Yeah, that's just a very interesting shot, very neat.
Yeah, what were the settings on it? Because if that's his 40D, something I think the 40D is shocking at his low light performance.
Yeah, it is probably, I would think, Sigma. He has that Sigma.
He's got that 1.4, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a 2.8, but maybe this was tripod, or maybe there's a. Could you get better coverage if you had some kind of filter on the camera to give you the, to react to the black light? I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. You might think it's got to be low visible light, isn't it? That's why I was wondering what ISO it used. As soon as you start to go up in the ISOs on the 40D, you've really seen a noise creeping in, unless he's cleaned it up. I thought that's perfect black behind the models.
Yeah, it is. You probably did a little bit, but yeah, that's a very good point. I just wonder what the.
That's what I was surprised for. If that's the 40D, I'm interested how he gets that quality out of it.
Yeah, it's probably something he did with the lighting or a filter or something that allowed the camera to react to the black light more like it would regular light.
Yeah, because that really is how we'd see it. But generally, any kind of camera or even a camcorder, you get in a UV situation, they just seem to get confused.
Mm-hmm.
So they never show it how the human eye sees it. He's done really well at actually sort of capturing it how the human eye would see it.
Yeah, there's some trick, and Joe's learned a lot about lighting. He was talking about, so there's something he did. But it came out great. Yeah, like you said, the background is just pitch black, and it's probably a little bit of that was a result of post processing. But like you said, I mean, that if it's not there, and it's hard to get rid of noise. I mean, if it was really noisy, you can get rid of it, but then everything softens up.
That's it. Yeah, get horrible blurry, it loses the quality.
Yeah, and there's just it looks. I mean, it's not a full res image, but I mean, sharpness doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look like there's soft edges.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Next time I see Joe, I'm gonna ask him what kind of lighting was on this, because that's a great point. I was just mesmerized by the green lips. I guess that's what got me. I just saw that. I was like, oh, wow. But very cool. And he was saying that there was took a lot of time for the paint to do the painting. And look at the intricate details on that. Yeah, very very creative shot. Very creative. I would never think of something like that. That's for sure. All right, here's Wes. Flowers at the Thomas Center, Gainesville, Florida. Okay. Taken just a few days ago. And this was 50 millimeter. Okay. F7. Okay. Oh, there's one where fairly high f-stop and some nice blurring. So this was all about focus at this point, I would guess. So yeah, they focused right here on, I guess this is an orchid, maybe, I think. But very nice. I mean, that's some very nice bokeh in the background from f7 on a 50 millimeter.
Yeah, well, if he'd gone down to f2 or something, he would have destroyed the background. You wouldn't be able to tell there's a there.
Yeah, it would have just been a big, total blur. So, but yeah, obviously focused right here on the flower because that's nice and crisp and sharp and very, very well defined. Kind of interesting having this blade of grass come up. I think that it's actually a good thing because that's still in focus.
Yeah.
Whereas these over here kind of blurred a little bit, so it does definitely draws your eye right there, and then it just kind of goes around. You can see there's a big tree, big oak in the background, and then a house or.
Yeah.
Very nice, Wes. I like that. Nifty 50. Yeah, that's. I keep talking about it. I think that is going to be my next lens. It's just a fast, because I've got a fairly fast lens on my Nicomat and Olympus film cameras, but I don't have one for the EOS. For the
Yeah, the lenses on my I think that's my what's it called? My camera, my analog Canon AE1. That's got a 1.4 lens. I think it's a beautiful bit of glass.
Yeah, that's what I've got on a Nicomat is a 1.4. No, it's a 1.2, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a really.
Yeah, it's a perfect lens for that camera, and now I need something like that for the T3i.
Yeah, I mean, it's about £1,000 for that, and you're on the digital.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't have it.
Yeah.
I could buy three Nicomat with the lenses for less than the cost of one fast lens for the digital. That's why I don't have it yet. Maybe for Christmas this year. All right. But yeah, nice shot, Wes. I like that. Okay, now we got Tim out and about in merry old England here.
Yeah.
St. Mary's Church. Where is this in relation to the rest of the world?
This is about a mile up the road.
Okay.
I've never. I mean, mate, I go out doing the photography with. He said that. He goes, "Oh, I drove past the other day." Well, you know, I must have driven past it 100 times. I've never actually thought about it. You felt that it obviously used to be a nice, quiet village at one point. It's just attached onto the town that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of now, so you just pass it and you forget. Like, yeah, we stopped off there and we thought, oh, that's quite a nice shot. Yeah, try not to get run over.
It is very nice. There's I love the colors. Everything's in bloom. Look at the sky. It's blue. Clouds in the sky. This is like the one clear day all year, maybe.
Yes, that was a lovely day.
Yeah, and I like the line here. It kind of comes up right in that, kind of goes up and follows the fence.
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah, it's a nice leading lines. Kind of leads you right into the church. Yeah, very nice shot. And looks like it's on a hill, for sure.
Yeah, it's quite a steep hill. Yeah, because this road I'm on, it's quite a lot of cars. They always wheel spin their way out. It's very your car starts to struggle to hold on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, very nice shot, and a nice. And let's see what time it was. It was 1:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so
looks like
it would be near high in the day, wouldn't you? Like, because we're on summertime now.
Yeah. Very nice. I like that. Lots of color. Nice. It's a nice angle on the church, and with the hill and coming around. So good job. I like it. And how old is that church?
No idea. Probably it's Victorian job, so it's probably sort of 1880s.
Okay. Yeah, so only 140 years old, 150. Good. I like it. Okay, and this is weird. So is it just a irrigation?
It's actually like we've got like a river canal set up. nearby, and I'm actually on an island between the lock and this weir.
Okay.
So the water can go round down this weir, but the canal boats will go for the lock. Now, I want to try a light spout, get the water to go fluffy. I'm trying to think when there was like a waterfall or something. I thought, oh, there's a weir nearby.
Yeah, you did a good job there. I mean, that looks like cotton. At the
Yeah.
bottom there, and it was a 10-second exposure. So
Yeah, so this was it's a 10 stop ND filter, but it's a really cheap filter. It's only like about £3. So
okay,
this is the first time I've used it in colour because you always get a purple haze to everything. But I've done the colour correction. It's done quite a good job.
okay, wow, that is, and it was a 10-stop filter. So what was the actual exposure time? Was it?
But no, it took it up to a 10 second. Yeah, that was a really bright day, so that probably would have been
Okay,
actually fractions of a second if I had a filter on it.
okay, wow, yeah, they came out really nice, and actually probably the subject, the water. When you're talking about the filter gives a lot of the purple. Well, it kind of goes in right with the scene itself, so it probably helped. Because the water tends to be, the blue in that uh, spectrum. And yeah, it came out very nice. I like that. And yeah, and it just looks like a big pillow, big ball of cotton or something on the bottom.
Because I was quite impressed because also I couldn't use the tripod on because there's a wall on by the wall on the other side, so I ended up holding the camera on the wall.
Wow. Okay, so you just laid it on the wall and held it as still as you could.
Yeah, held it as still as I could. So I was quite surprised that there was no movement on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very good. And I just looked at this, and there's lots of detail on the opposite wall there. The different colors, from the water going up and going down to the stain on the wall,
Yeah, so you can see where the water levels have been.
the reflection of the trees there. Yeah, that's a neat shot, and you wouldn't have been able to get it without the ND filter.
No, so it would have just would have just froze the water. I think for that kind of so it was a really bright day.
Yeah, you would have ended up with a eighth of a second or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, and that would have been enough to. Hey, yeah, you might add a little bit of blurring, but it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. Oh,
Because normally, if it's not bright sunshine, if I put that filter on it, it's not uncommon for it to go way beyond 30 seconds.
okay. All right. So yeah, this must have been right brightest part of the day on a clear day to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. I like that. That's one of the things we did when we were out west a couple of years ago, right after we got back into photography. We were out in Zion National Park, and I was hiking up along the river trying to take shots, and I didn't have an ND filter, and it was kind of a bright day,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't get the exposure that I wanted.
Yeah.
I ended up okay, but I would have done a lot better if I would have had an ND filter. But they definitely help, especially when it's bright. You got to compensate for that bright light, so you can get a long enough exposure to do what you need to do.
Well, I know when my dad went to Venice last year, he had to put a one-stop ND film on his camera because he's got one of the mirrorless, and its maximum shutter speed's 4,000, and he could not take a shot. It was that bright. The camera was maxing out. He couldn't switch its shutter up any faster, so he had to put an ND film on it in order to get it to take a picture. That's bright.
Yeah, that is. It's bright when you can go to. When you have a 4,000th of a second, and you still got to
Yeah.
turn it essentially into an 8,000th of a second.
Yeah, we said, he goes, you can take a picture if you put it to f16, but if you, of course, want any bokeh or anything, to have the aperture down, wide open.
Yeah, yep.
You know, things are refusing to take the shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's another thing. I have a small, is it a 1 or 2 a real mild ND filter for one of the kit lenses, but I really don't have one that fits my the 15 to 85. So I need to get probably maybe a 5-stop. Do they come in would it be a 5-stop? Would that be the one 5 or 10? Is that how they do it?
Yeah, I don't know, because they've all got different numbers, and they've got ND numbers, haven't they? Because I've got some, because I've got a kit, mine's one of these kits where it all slides in. I've got a bracket that goes on the end of the lens, and you just slide square bits of glass in.
Okay.
I actually bought a kit, so I've got step ups. Yeah, I think it's like 2, 4, 6, 8. I think it all goes up in. I'm trying to think what it is because it's funny. I think it's an ND16. I think to get 10 stops. Yeah, I've not quite translated it yet, despite hunting around the internet for translations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Some of the filters give it to you in stop. Some of them give it to you in its ND setting.
Okay. Yeah. It's not exact correlation. Just depends how they describe it.
Yeah.
I was looking and we were talking. And I noticed in the Q&A, Super Wes was in there. Thanks for watching, Super Wes. He said we were talking about the black lights for the shot. He said it's a ton of black lights. Okay, yeah, I would imagine so. But it'd be interesting to see. I wonder how many. I know Joe had said it was a lot. Maybe it was like 25 black lights. I mean, it was some insane amount. I mean, his electric bill is probably way up.
Yeah.
For all that. But he said he likes it, and I agree. That was a very creative shot. But Joe does a good job with that. And I was going to take a look. Let's see here. I don't know if he posted anything. There's another black light. Yeah, this is from that same shot. I don't know if he described. Okay, yeah, this is one from the same shot. It said, key to the shot was getting enough black light. I used 4 different constant light soft boxes, all with at least 3 to 4 black lights. And my makeup artist had to put all her skills to test with the awful blacklight makeup. So this was 4 boxes with 4, so you had 16 black lights.
Yeah.
But I don't know what power it is, but yeah, it's still interesting. So it was bright, but not in the normal visual spectrum. So it's still very interesting, very creative. I don't know if he does another one. Let's see what he describes here. This is an interesting blacklight shot. Sample image, no. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, so it's definitely creative. I'm going to see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, so a lot of electricity was used for that blacklight shot, and we got blacklights, ND filters, and bokeh. That's the title of today's show: blacklights, bokeh, and ND. So very good. So have you looked at, Tim? Have you used the Flickr mobile app, the new one that they came out with?
No, actually, I've just treated myself to a new iPhone. And
okay.
I download it, and it's got like 300 people, like 1 star, going, "What have you done?" So apparently they've wrecked it. The new apps have been probably downloading it.
Okay. Yeah, I downloaded it 2 weeks ago, maybe. I haven't used it too much because I've been so busy. But looking around, real quick on it, it seemed like it was pretty good. I don't know what kind of feedback people are giving the app, but I was just interested to see if you had tried it. It seems okay to me.
Yeah, I had it on the Android phone and it was fine. I say it's only I went to update it and 1 star, and then it looks like it just updated it, and everyone's gone, "What have you done?"
Yeah.
So like, there's a bug in it, and I have to wait for Flickr to update it.
Okay, yeah. I guess I'll have to play around with it a little bit more. I know Flickr's gone through a fair amount of changes and tweaks the last year, and most of them have been on the user interface, and I think generally people don't like it. This is what seems to be the general opinion of changes to the Flickr user interface. I still haven't. I think for myself, I still haven't upgraded to the latest version. I'm still using, on my browser, I still use the last one, I think.
Oh yeah, because you could choose, couldn't you, for a while? And it asked you what one you wanted.
Yeah, and I'm still using the old one, I think, yes. I haven't gone to the latest and greatest. You were forced, I guess you got forced to go to a couple ago, but they have a new one out. But they've upgraded it again, and I haven't switched. Um, but oh, this is an interesting shot. I was just looking around here on Flickr. But this one, there you go, a Leica. I was just looking at this one of the guys up. I don't know, do you follow this guy, Heinrich J? He does a lot of street photography with a Leica. And very, very cool shot. I was just looking at that, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like everybody took off their hat and gloves, and they must be playing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Left behind items at a local playground. Yeah. C-type 112, not an M, very small camera. So that must be the digital, I would think.
It's been asking the digital one, 80 ISO in it. That must be the digital Leica.
What do those run? $3,000-$4,000?
If that's actually the black and white, because they done a black and white one, didn't they? Black and white digital, and it is stupendous money.
Really? Okay. They changed they have to change the sensor or something on that, don't
they?
Yeah,
it is a black and white sensor. It does not do colour, so raw is raw black and white.
Okay. That's
and of course, it means every pixel is doing something. That's why we were saying where black and white falls down on digital, because of course your camera in raw is capturing it in colour. It just makes it black and white. Of course, it's taking away. That's how it makes black and white. But of course, if it's a black and white sensor, every single pixel is capturing the shades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's probably why it's so expensive. I wonder what is that, Leica C black and white. I'm just going to look it up and see what. Maybe if I hit the lottery.
Yeah, I know there are thousands.
Yeah, probably. High dynamic. Yeah. Okay. That's a DP review. Yeah. It probably is. Yeah. Probably $9,000 or $10,000. There we go. This is a B&H. Oh, no longer available. Yeah. Full Leica C Type 112. There we go. That must be it. And okay. Well, how much it says? It's $200 more. It doesn't tell me anything. It's not black and white. That's got a color viewfinder.
Yeah, no. So there is two that look like it.
Okay. I'm just going to go to the Leica site because I've got a buddy here in Atlanta who got basically a. Hey, Pat, how's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Tim and I were just trying to find out how much that new Leica black and white digital is.
No.
You know?
I have no idea.
All right.
That's not like a rebranded Sony thing, is it?
I think that one is it's a Panasonic or something.
Oh yeah.
But I think they said Tim was saying they have one that uses a black and white sensor, digital sensor instead of color. I don't know. Whatever it is, I can't afford it. So
yeah.
Too expensive. But yeah, I think they are. They've kind of paired up with Panasonic, I think.
I found it on a website. It's a company that's based in Hong Kong, which supplies England, so we don't get ripped off. It's only £6,230.
6230, so about $13,000 probably. Wow. Okay. That's a
yeah, I know they're older ones where literally just Sony's that they put like a wood grip on, and it was 10 times the price. Like mechanically, they were identical.
Yeah. Same camera, 10 times the price. That sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
And they're weird looking too, kind of ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the Leica film cameras are fantastic. And
oh yeah. Yeah.
I was saying there's a guy I know here locally who just happened to come across a like at a camera shop that was literally the guy bought two like 40, 50 years ago, whatever model it was, and he put one in a drawer and he used
Yeah.
the other one, and then he died, and then I think his daughter or son was like, I don't want this camera, you know.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been used at all. It had just been sitting in the box since 1958 or something. Little, you know, little dusting, a little cleaning, relubrication, and he's got a brand new camera. It's like it just, you know, like the guy put it in a time capsule, and there it is. But he had the mortgage of his firstborn to get it, I think, and I think it was still fairly. I don't know what was it. $1,500? I mean, it wasn't too bad, but
Yeah.
still pretty expensive. But he really likes
Never
it.
too.
Yeah.
I've never used one, but I hear good things.
Yeah. I've seen one, and I've
Yeah.
held it, but I've never used one. Yeah, I'd love to shoot a roll of film with one and see. But so how you been?
I'm alright. I kind of just forgot about what time it was. I was cleaning stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, damn.
Well, thanks for popping in.
Yeah, I don't have anything to share. I mean, I have photos, I'm sure, but...
Yeah, I haven't done anything. I got out a couple weeks ago, but I just haven't had any time the last couple weeks really to do anything other than work. So.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. So is it like 120 degrees down there yet?
Not quite that hot. I don't know what it is.
Probably in the 90s.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Summer's on its way,
Not
I
like
guess. But have you been doing much car photography, or is it?
I did one shoot the other day, a little while ago, that went alright.
Yeah.
But I haven't been out to anything, like any kind of events or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't really have much on the horizon. Maybe one more photo shoot coming up in not too long, but...
Okay. All right. Do the events kind of go away during the summer just because it's so?
Yeah,
hot?
they certainly. I mean, they still happen, but there's fewer of them, and they usually start earlier and that kind of thing. Like the Cars and Coffee is every month still, but it starts at like 7 or 6 or something in the summer, so that people are out there and then get out of there before it gets too hot.
Yeah. Get out of there by 9 or 10 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, that makes sense. It's kind of the same way here. It just gets not as hot, but the humidity just kind of gets, so you want to get done with everything by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, because then it just gets too sticky.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, summer is summer, I guess. I guess I'd rather have it than cold. So no complaints.
For sure.
Yeah. So, well, cool. So anything photographic you've been looking at, Patrick? At new equipment, anything like that? I've been talking about. I'm still talking about getting a fast 50mm or 35mm lens, but I haven't been able to the budget for it lately. So maybe you bought something new that we can live vicariously through you on.
Nope. Nothing at all. Next purchase for me is gonna almost certainly be that 135 f2.
Okay.
Just because for the car photography it's awesome, and then if I ever go full frame, it'll still be really good. Like right at the range I want, and even better for the depth of field. So. Okay,
yeah. The 135 on a crop will give you, it'd be like a 210 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some close to it. I mean, right around 200, I think. Right? Oh no, I guess a little more than Yeah.
Is that an L lens?
I believe it is. Yeah. Or it might be one of those ones like the 50s that are not, but they are kind of thing, you know. They're not branded that way, but they really pretty much are.
Yeah, everything.
I think it is, though.
Everything except the white paint, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and it's one of the ones that's a little smaller, so it is an L. You know, all the shorter focal length are all black, even for the L's. But they just have that little red ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've used it. A friend of mine has it, and so I had a lens on my camera that he wanted to try, and he had that one I wanted to try it, so we just swapped for like half the car show, and I liked it a lot.
Okay, good.
I was using my Rokinon, and he was thinking about buying that one.
Okay. Is that the 15mm you use?
I use the 85.
Okay.
85 1.4.
Okay. And you really like that?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, It's definitely, you have to use it for like stage stuff because it's really. I mean, I have manually focused stuff on the fly, but it's tough with that shallow depth of field at that focal length. At that focal length to manually focus.
Yeah.
And
So
I
you
put
almost,
one of those. You know,
yeah.
put one of those like what is it called? Like the high resolution focusing screen or whatever into my camera, but it's still kind of tough.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you need something that's pretty much there. You can't really. You're not gonna do a
I mean,
good
I
job
just
if it's moving or anything.
yeah, I always use the live view to focus it actually,
Okay.
because that way I can zoom in on it and really, fine tune it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it. Get
I mean,
it.
if you stop it down, it's not bad. You can do it pretty easily, but like 1.4, you're talking about even like with a car, it's like a tiny, like a couple inches maybe, is your focal. It's actually sharp.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got a real, um, real fine, um, real accurate
Yeah,
range, a real short range where it works.
yeah.
You get a little bit out, and it's just.
And really, it's best even on a tripod to use a live view on a tripod. That way you're not moving around. But a lot of times I'll do it without it. It's just kind of gotta be careful.
Yeah. Okay. So the 135 would take care of that then, because it's got.
Yeah, it's autofocus and um, just a longer length is kind of nice because I have the 70 to 200, and I like it for when I have to change focal length. But if I'm doing a photo shoot, I'd rather just use the 135 and just keep it right at f2 and get that nice super shallow depth of field.
Yeah. Yeah. And not have to worry about changing focal length. You've got it, and then you can walk forward or backward or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, and if I want something different, just switch lenses. Like I'd probably keep the 85 still, just because I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's a nice lens.
yeah, I would have had it. I would have that lens by now, but I had some other stuff come up that's kind of stopped me, unfortunately. I will get it.
Yeah, it's on the list. It just got moved down a little bit and start working its way back up the list now. Yeah, that was kind of me with the what is it? The 35? Was it the Sigma, right? The 35 f1.4.
Yeah, 1.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was getting close to the top of the list, and then I had to replace an air conditioner unit, and I got pushed way down to the bottom of the list. So
Yeah, it's a bummer.
maybe by fall.
I would definitely like that lens too.
Yeah.
I want 1.4 pretty badly, but for the longer focal length is kind of a little more important.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think in a perfect world it'd be great. I don't have a fast lens for the digital. It's like I was saying earlier. I've got the the f1.2 on the Nikmat and an f2 on the Olympus, and all I have is I think what is it 3.5 is the fastest I have on the digital. So it'd be nice to have it, but I could buy 2 or 3 used film cameras for the cost of one.
Yeah. I'm sure at least that many.
One lens. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I like my Tamron zoom's pretty decent. It needs to be like serviced. It's getting old, but that's like a 2.8, 17 to 50. I think it's kind of like the same thing that Joe has, but he has a Sigma or something, right?
Yeah, he has a Sigma 17 to. Yeah, he has a 17 to 50.
Yeah.
And that's what he uses. He uses that for a lot of his. I mean, that's his main lens, I think, right now.
Yeah, it used to be my only lens for a while. I had a Canon Zoom and then a 50-1.4, and I sold both of those. And then so for a while it was the only lens I had. But I don't know. I just needed something longer,
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Let me see if you can see my screen here. 1 second.
Yeah.
But like this little rubber deal. The little like zoom thing is like completely stretched out and peeling off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's kind of annoying. And then this front element's pretty loose, like it really rattles back and forth a lot.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's.
But I mean, I've probably shot 20,000 photos through it, maybe more.
Okay, yeah. So you got your.
Been around the block.
You got your use out of it. How long have you had it?
Let me try to think really quick. At least 5 years, probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Real nice to a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, well,
Best I should be.
it gets kicked around a little bit as you're out and about doing stuff. So yeah, 5 years is not that bad, really. I mean, how much could you get for that if you sold it? $50?
I don't know. The price of everything's gone up since I bought it.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap lens, but it's not crazy. I think it's like 400 something maybe.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Not way out of range, but
Why can I not find it? Oh,
yeah.
I'm trying to find out how much it was on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about 500 on Amazon.
Okay. That's not too bad.
So I don't know. I mean, with the conditions, and I would definitely have to, knock quite a bit off the price. But I just need to get it serviced, and it'll be right back to where it was. It's just that's kind of, I think it's at least $200-300 just to have it serviced.
Yeah, or you can get a new lens for $400.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I think that's the next one for me is going to be that 35, somewhere in that range, probably 35. That 1.4 would be great. And I want to get a macro lens. I just the Tamron has a 90 millimeter macro. Is that which one? Is that the one it is?
I don't know.
Autofocus, I think. And I think that's about 400, 350 or 400. And I've got a couple friends that have it, and they really like it, and it works good for portraits too.
Yeah.
It ends up being about a 135 on a crop sensor.
Yeah, that's the 85 that I have. It's about a 135, which is nice.
Yeah, so that could serve dual purpose. I could take pictures of really tiny stuff, and then also use it for just general kind of that.
Yeah.
I've got a 15 to 85, which is kind of my walk-around lens. But if I wanted something a little bit more, that would be, and it's a 2.8, so it's not a bad, fairly fast lens at least, and that would give me that mid-range. And I don't use anything much more than, I've got the 50 to 250 kit lens, and I very rarely use anything above like 150, and it just don't do it.
Be right back.
Okay. So that actually is probably the better lens to get than the super fast 35 millimeter. Is probably be that macro lens, because I could probably use it. I need both, I think. Don't you think, Tim? I need both.
Well, the Canon 28mm 1.8, because it gives you the equivalent of a 45mm. So you're close to the 50.
Well, 28 or 35. So 35 would be right at 50 millimeter, and the 28 would be at 45. Now, what does that run? What does the 1.8 run? What's the cost on that?
That is, I've seen it now as cheap as £300.
Okay.
Yeah, it's expensive lens, and I've already got in the frame of mind. I don't want to spend more on a lens than the camera's worth.
Yeah.
The camera's getting old. I would rather be upgrading the camera. And also, I've got to admit, I am tempted. I keep looking at Nikons. Because they do say eventually, after a while, you'll start to learn what type of photography you do and what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something I do like on my camera is it's got the super fast frame rate, especially considering its age.
Mm-hmm.
But only occasionally use it. What I have found now over the last few months is I constantly find myself in low light, and that is where the 40D falls down. And it seems to be that's the one thing that Nikon always seems to beat Canon at is low light performance. Mm-hmm. An off-sensor, a friend of mine's got big 3300, and it humiliates my camera in low light.
Yeah.
It thinks nothing against 6400 is perfectly usable.
Yeah.
And you have to look for the noise. You think if I go to 3200, which is the higher function of mine, it's emergency use, and I've got to do a lot of cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hear those new Sonys are very good in low light too.
Sony point and shoot I've got, that's good. That I jumped to 6400 without destroying the photo.
Okay. What is it? The A7? I mean, the mirrorless.
They're full frame mirrorless.
Yes, the full frame one. It's supposed to be really good in low light. It's supposed to have a pretty effective low light performance. But you can't really transfer. There's not a lot of lenses available for. Although I guess they have a lot of adapters.
I think that's why it gets knots, doesn't it? Because the guy Sony's got 3 lenses. They've bought out this brilliant camera, and they've hardly got any lenses. But I know there is an adapter. It does. I can't think of whose lenses it takes. It does take another leg which is a manufacturer's lens which is freely available.
Okay, like Sigma or Tamron or something like that. Yeah.
They do a lot of the Zeiss stuff as Sony
Oh,
now,
okay. All right.
which that's all pretty pricey though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's definitely on the higher end. But
And I found that I actually bought that lens back in November 2007, so
wow, it's going on
it's been almost 7
years.
years. Yeah. So it's done well.
Yeah, you need a new lens. It's done. It's time to retire and get a new one. Oh, here we go. I found the Canon F. That's the 85 millimeter, 28. Okay, $450 or so for the Canon 2818. Have you used that one, Patrick?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I'm just wondering how that would compare to this Sigma.
The 35, yeah, I don't know.
3514.
I mean, I'd definitely rather have the 35 just being a little longer and a little faster, but
Yeah, you've got about 10 millimeter difference.
because
And
the 35 on a full frame especially is a pretty awesome like walk around setup.
and then on a crop, it's right at 50, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas the
Which is good too, but
28
sometimes that can be a little tight.
Yeah,
Depending on what you're doing.
yeah. Let's see what the Sigma 50 millimeter 1.4 is.
When I was reading about the Sigmas, I kept on the reviews. A lot of people get moaning about back focusing issues.
Yeah. Are they the... No. I know there's some company that actually makes a little thing now where you...
The thing is, Sigma, they now do a dock, don't they? You can put
plug in the computer and you can adjust all that.
Yeah,
Pretty
they're
cool.
art lenses or whatever they call it. Yeah. Now, this is probably the one on the Sigma, right? Is that would be the one probably?
Black screen. Oh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not a bad price for that kind of lens.
$500. The Canon version, the 2818 is $450.
Yeah.
Yeah, so $50 difference. Not that.
See, that is an old lens though. That Canon, apparently that's early 90s. That lens, but it's a lot of people going, but they haven't changed it because there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, it's been around 20 years. Okay. So yeah, that
The
would
refurb site. You can get some pretty good deals on that.
On which one? On the Sigma?
That's what you're looking at. Canon's refurb, they have like a whole section.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sometimes there's some pretty great deals on there.
Yeah, and it kind of come and go.
Because I mean, and I'm all about like I have no problem buying refurb stuff because that's my first 20D was that. And the thing is, they actually go through a more thorough check than the original and in normal ones, because they're doing more to them. The other ones they just trust they're better. But like right now, they have that 135 f2 on Canon's website for $740.
Okay.
And it's $1,090 on Amazon. So $340 less.
Yep.
Now I'm really wishing I didn't have that other shit come up. Buy that right now.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Believe me, I could have bought for what I paid for my air conditioning. I could have bought a new camera and a couple of new lenses and money left over to take a trip somewhere to use it.
Yeah.
Like, oh well.
This Canon 200 2.8 is always kind of tempting to me too. The other prime, because that's another you get this almost a because that's the reason I buy the 7200 mostly is for that long end being that fast. That's only $800, where I think the 2.8 is like 2,000 or something for that.
Okay.
7200.
There's a 10 to 22 450.
That's a pretty cool lens, the 10 to 22.
Yeah, I rented that a couple times and I really liked it.
Yeah, I like that it doesn't really distort. It pulls stuff angular, but it doesn't curve anything.
Yep, I did some. I probably need to re-rent that again because I got that. We went out to Zion and Death Valley right after I got back into photography, so I wasn't as good as I am now as far as knowing settings and that type of stuff. But I got some really good shots with that. That was a great wide-angle landscape lens. A lot of fun with that.
You're right back.
to 24 to 70, 24 to 185, 55 to 250, $120. That's a kit lens, basically. That one there.
Yeah.
Which is a really good lens. I really like that lens. It does a when you need that. I mean, on a crop camera, that's a 300 and it's a 300 plus millimeter. So kind of like Wes had with the gargoyle or whatever he photographed there.
That 70 by 300 is the one I was considering because I do miss my long range zoom.
Oh, this one here.
That takes up to about 480 on our cameras.
Yeah, that's not a bad price really. 360.
And it's EF, so you can transfer that over to a full frame.
Yeah. You can this one though. The 100 to 400.
Yes.
That'd give you a 600, about a 650 on the crop. There you go. That's like your bird photography lens there. Only 1,100. That's a lot of money for a lens, but I guess in the whole scheme of things.
Cool. Now that's excellent. Yeah, you just found the lens on, didn't it?
Which one? Oh, this one?
Yeah.
$350. Yeah.
Dollars. That's fantastic.
Mhm. And it comes with a 1-year warranty. I mean, yeah. I mean, refurbished. I've never had any problem buying factory refurbished stuff. That's always been a. That's not too bad. $350. And here's the 35 millimeter f1.4L.
Wouldn't you love one? Look at the price.
Wow. Yeah. 4/10 of a stop. It's got the red band, and it's 3 times as much.
Now that's interesting. That lens at the bottom was the one I was seriously looking at because apparently it's really sharp.
Oh, 37
and you cannot get hold of them. They've brought out a new one which has got IS on it, and it's like quadrupled its price.
Oh.
You don't need IS on a 35mm. It's so wide you shouldn't be shaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, almost immediately everyone ran out of stock. That's interesting. That site over there is
yeah, this is the US one. Oh, it says out of stock. Yeah.
Oh, they've run out as well of that. Yeah, it's become so rare. It's just like nobody's selling them.
Yeah. Oh, here's the pancake lens.
That's supposed to be quite good. A friend of mine's got that.
40. Yeah, it's about 65 millimeter. Yeah. I just don't. I used to check this site. The Canon refurb lenses, once every few days, a couple years ago, and I've gotten so busy and spent all my money on home repairs that I've kind of got depressed.
Look at the difference between the 1.2 and the 1.4.
Oh, then the 50. Yeah, that's a huge difference there. 271 versus 1100. And let's fill 72, 58. Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, is it really 5 times better or 4 times better?
So the only thing is, it's an L lens, isn't it? That 1.2.
Yeah, that's the old stuff. Yeah.
I've heard it's really not much better at all. It looks cooler. Yeah. It looks really impressive.
Yeah, it does. But is it 4 times better? Probably not.
I've heard good things about that little pancake lens up there, that 40 millimeter.
Yes, that's what Tim and I were just saying. That looks.
Yeah. For that price, especially, that's pretty damn cheap.
Angle of view, closest focusing. Yeah, 52 millimeter. Yeah, that's a pretty.
That's one thing I wish about my Rokinon is I wish it focused closer. The minimum focus distance was better. I can't remember what it is, but.
I know I know the little fish, which I still have on the camera here.
I'm sure the fisheye's got to be super close. You can get right.
I mean, you don't really need to focus at all. I mean, you get minimum focus is 1 foot, and then you get to infinity at anything over 5 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no. And
I used
you can't tell the difference anyway, hardly.
I played around a little bit with the guys. He had the Canon 8 to 15 f4.
Oh, okay.
At a car show recently. I think it's a really new lens. And that thing was crazy. I'm sure it's the same thing as yours, where it's like I guess I don't know. At 8 millimeters, that one is a 180 degrees.
Yes. Yeah, mine. The Rokinon is too.
Yeah. So yeah, it was so weird looking through there and like seeing my own feet. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. I mean, I do. It's fun. It's fun at car shows, especially kind of the wild cars, the customs and that type of stuff. It just fits.
Yeah.
It fits really good. But yeah, you really have to pay attention. You've got to keep your feet out of out of view and move things. And there's 180 degrees takes a while to get used to. But yeah, there's some neat lenses there. But yeah, that f1, that 1.8, that 35 or 28-1.8 was, what did we say it was? 200. Oh, that. Have you used the 100 to 400 at all, Patrick?
No.
No. Okay. It was like that would be like the perfect bird photography lens.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever get any use out of 400 unless I did more track stuff, which I've done a little bit of, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to get back in touch with a friend of mine who's a photographer who he's also like he authored some books, and he was talking about doing work with me on doing like an automotive travel magazine.
Oh.
That would basically be like in airports and stuff like that, where you would in little gift shops so when you get to Arizona you'd see this magazine and it'd be like places to check out and events that are happening in the next 6 months or whatever. And he has I've mentioned him before, but he has like the most ridiculous Nikon gear. Just like whatever the latest and greatest is, he's got it.
Oh wow.
Because he's one of the guys that he just has money to burn. It's kind of a hobby, like a fun thing for him. I mean, he has a couple Ferraris and stuff, so.
Yeah. So
Yeah, buying a little lens is nothing.
$20,000-$30,000 of lenses isn't a big deal. Yeah. So he just buys
whenever
whatever comes out that he likes. He just buys.
I think and he has like all the latest, bodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I borrowed a couple of his, and it was just crazy, like how I'm so not used to how many frames per second just sounds like a little machine gun. It's like as fast as you can, It was ridiculous. And it was funny because he said he doesn't have any other friends that are into photography at all. And so I went over to his house to borrow that gear, and like when I came in, he had like everything all laid out on tables, like a little showroom to show him off.
Yeah, because nobody else cares, but he knows you do.
Yeah. And I did. I was just like, oh, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
All of this.
That's fun. Yeah, it's like kid in a candy store.
He had the Nikon, that 200mm f2, and that lens was like,
that's an $8,000 or $10,000 lens, isn't it?
I think it's actually like I'm looking at it right now, $6,000.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
yeah. But yeah, it looks so ridiculous too, though. It's just funny looking almost.
Yeah.
He didn't let me borrow that one, unfortunately. I borrowed his like 70 to 200 2.8 and a body and some other like another equivalent of an L lens or whatever.
Mhm.
That's for a photo shoot I did. That was like one of the biggest cars I shot up to that point, and I didn't have. That's when I only had my single lens. So I was like, oh man, I really need to figure something out. And he was nice enough to let me borrow that.
Yeah. Well, and you didn't switch to Nikon then, huh?
You know what? I wouldn't mind if I didn't already have all this other stuff. I really like. I know there's slight differences, I think, in like the tones or something. Like I can usually tell when something's shot with a Nikon.
Okay.
For some reason, I like it a little better. I don't know.
Well, it's probably I mean, the algorithm is probably just a little different.
Yeah.
They just.
I have a friend in Tucson that shoots with Nikon gear, and I really, really like the stuff he does.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I mean, I know obviously it's not just the camera, but I can kind of tell. Like I can immediately recognize his photos, and I see other people that shoot Nikon, and I can see kind of similarities in the things I like.
The tones and how things are. Yeah.
He also shoots full frame, which I think makes a pretty big difference, really.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But, that's gonna be. I think full frame cameras are probably going to come down in cost, especially now that Sony put out that A7 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the get Canon and Nikon to do more. Either that, or they're just going to give up the full frame and just go to the cell phone cameras or something.
Yeah.
Canon, the 60 has dropped below £1,000 over here now, which is the poor man's full frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the it's a basic full frame camera. It doesn't have real high frame rate or a lot of extra features, but it is full frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a very good camera, yeah, it just doesn't have the features that the 5D or what's the nutty one, is it the X1D or something?
Yeah, it's got basic autofocus, basic features, 3 frames a second or whatever. Whatever
Yeah.
basically like the T3 or T2 or T3 EOS has probably on that.
I wouldn't mind that though. I mean, I don't really do high frame rate stuff most of the time.
As I was saying earlier, I've got it because the current one does 6.5, and assuming it's age, that's brilliant. But you think actually I don't use it that often. It's like nice to know you got it, but I rarely use it.
Yeah.
I think I would miss, like looking at the 60, I'd miss not having the fold out screen though.
Mhm.
I got really used to that.
Yeah, that's one thing I use a lot of on my T3 is the screen. I don't use the frame rate. Yeah, I've used it 3 or 4 times, and I probably didn't need to. Um, the bracketing I use,
So I
and
never use any of that.
and that's about it. I use the bracketing, the live view, the articulating screen. I do some video with it, and
Oh, see the
other than that,
5D,
yeah.
the 5D3 doesn't have a articulated screen either.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's kind
don't
of weird
think
to me.
other cameras do they?
No, I don't know. That, yeah, maybe I guess not. That's kind of strange. I guess I don't know. For the car stuff, I like it because a lot of times I'll put the camera like almost on the ground, and I
Yeah.
can't even focus it or frame it without like laying on the ground. Otherwise, I mean, I could probably the viewing on the screen's probably good enough to where I could figure it out. But
Yeah, no, I have used the articulating the screen a lot, especially for, like you said, car photography, um, out and about. If you see something close to the ground or whatever. I mean, 20 years ago I could have stooped down and got down there, but now it hurts too much, so I use the screen and it works well.
I also use it just holding my arms up like above crowds and stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, if you're in a crowd and hold it up, you can actually above your head see what you're shooting accurately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. The 70D still has it.
Yeah.
I guess
That's
yeah, just the higher end ones don't.
yeah. That's
I'd
interesting.
really like a 5D3. That'd be. I don't need like a 1D. I mean, I'd like one, but I don't need
Yeah.
it.
Well, maybe they'll come out with a 5D 3.2 that'll have the screen, and then you'll
Yeah.
be forced to buy one.
Well, the 5D3 is pretty recent, isn't it? It's more recent than the 60D, I think.
Yeah.
Last year, last April or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little over a year ago. And the
I've
60
thought
came out
about.
last summer, I think.
Yeah. I've thought about looking like on Craigslist for a 5D2. And I've thought about doing that instead of getting another lens, just like focusing on a body for now. But the problem is too, then if my 17 to 50 won't work, it's only for the crop sensors.
Yeah.
So then I'd have to buy another wide-angle lens as well, and then I'm looking at even more money.
Yeah. Well, you get the 5D2 at a discount, and you could sell your existing lens at a discount.
And I guess my existing body too. Although I wouldn't mind having a backup or a second camera.
Yeah. That would be.
Because sometimes, like especially if I travel somewhere for a photo shoot, I almost had that happen when I went to Chicago that one time where the camera just completely stopped working for a while, and I was kind of freaking out for a bit.
Yeah.
But then it magically started working again, luckily, and it'd be nice not to have to, if something did happen, to still have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So I think I should have held on to my 20D, considering how little I sold it for. But
Yeah. Well, a lot of people will do, two bodies and will just have the two lenses that they use the most on one on each, and then they're set. They don't have to spend the time swapping out lenses. They just take the other body with the lens already on it.
And that'd be nice if you had a lens like this 85 to 1.4 where you might want that extra length from the crop sensor. But because I think this one, I'm pretty certain, I mean it has to go in full frame as well. The Rokinon.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah, that's the only lens I got the kit lenses, which I don't use anymore. But the 15 to 85 is crop sensor only, so if we could go full frame, I'd have to sell that. But the fisheye, that goes on any Canon body. And I don't know, does the with the Sigma, I guess that would probably work on either one.
I think it's supposed to be just more or less a clone of the, Canon, Nikon, which is made by them. So I think they're all.
Yeah.
And honestly, the build quality, I'm sure Rokinon's the same way. I'm like so impressed with it. It's definitely as good as L stuff that I've used.
No, I really like the fisheye. I mean, it's solid. It works well. I mean, I've had it for about a year, and I don't know. I've shot maybe 300 or 400 images with it, but I've hiked around with it. I've dropped the camera with it on it, a little bit. It's fine. It's a real solid lens. It works great, and it was actually relatively affordable. I think it was $275 or something like that. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think mine was only like $350, something like that. The 85.
Wasn't expensive at all. I mean, it's quality. I mean, if you do your job in focus and frame it right, I've had no issues with it being bad image quality. So
the one thing that bums me out is that for the Nikon, it has a focus chip in it, so that even though it's manual focus, when you press the autofocus button, it'll tell you if it's in focus. It'll highlight points. So you can actually manually focus that way, but the Canon, for whatever reason, doesn't work that way. And a friend of mine, he does a lot of stuff with just taking old film lenses and using adapters on his digital bodies.
Okay.
And he actually bought an adapter with a autofocus chip in it like that, so that when he puts those on, he can use them and use these old lenses, and it'll tell him if it's focused. It won't autofocus, but once he holds that button, it'll, has little red squares that jump up.
Okay. Yep.
It'll do that to show you where it's focused because it can tell the contrast or whatever.
Oh, okay. And that's only Nikon? Canon doesn't do that?
You can get adapters that do that for, like, if you want to put an old Vivitar lens or something like that on your, your Canon body, or even Nikon lenses. They sell them with the little chips in them, but for whatever reason, the Nikon the Rokinon manual focus stuff doesn't have that for the Canon, but it does for the Nikon. Like it's built into the lens.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though it's manual focus, it still has the ability to communicate with a Nikon and at least show you where it's
currently focused.
Where it's best focused. Yeah. And then you can make an adjustment.
Which is almost just as good to me, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It would definitely help. You can see which point is in focus and then decide if that's where you want it or not. So, yeah, very good. All right, well, cool. Now I've got my heart set on a new fast lens. So
yeah.
I better get to work next week and earn some money so I can buy one.
Yeah.
Always stuff to buy. Always fun stuff to buy. But okay, well, good. I think we'll go ahead and close this one out. Thanks for popping in, Patrick. Tim?
Yeah, sorry I didn't get in a little earlier and share some pictures.
No problem. Get some. I haven't taken a lot of recent pictures, so I'm gonna go back through my stuff from the last couple of years. I've still got a bunch that I haven't gone through yet. And I'm gonna try to get a couple of those posted here. Maybe tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be kind of rainy here tomorrow morning, so I can go through a couple of those. So I have a couple of those for next week. Hopefully you get out and get some photography in, Tim. And
yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah, good. And you, Patrick, thanks for popping in. We've covered, what do we got? 1, 2, 8, 7 time zones. So there we go. Yeah. We're good. Third of the world.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.
Take it easy.
Thanks for popping in, and we'll see everybody later. Take care. Bye.